Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. Welcome to my kitchen. New little intro location. I just made my coffee. Had to start this video right away because I am addicted to the first book that we're reading. I stayed up until like 1 or 2 a.m. reading this book. Someone's car is ruining my Taylor Swift Life of a Showgirl moment. Laughing, smiling, kicking my feet. Call me darling. And a lot of people feel this way. Her house is broken. So this is going to be a reading vlog of helping me get through my monthly TBR. Also, look at these little adorable sunflowers and like bouquet that I got at the farmer's market 2 days ago. And then it was such a big bouquet that I got this one too that's on our kitchen table. Aren't they so cute? Editing Sarah here. Yeah, it's been a year since I filmed this video. Quite literally a year. I haven't posted in a year. I am ready to get back on it. This was a video that I had filmed right before and was about to edit right before I just like stopped posting. A lot of things happened in my life. Things got busy. We moved. I also got really into TikTok, but I'm back. This is the first video I'm putting out after a year break, and it is literally in August of 2025. The things that I refer to, I go to get the new release, People We Meet on Vacation, and it is no longer a new release, the special edition version. Hi, welcome back. I'm so excited you're here. This is reading a couple of books. One that I absolutely fell in love with, one that I did not really like, and one that was overhyped in my opinion. So I hope you enjoy. Because I have a really exciting TBR and there are some books on there that are actually on my yearly TBR. It's Monday, so we're gonna do this vlog until Friday, and we're just gonna see how many books we can read because I have a pretty free week and there are a lot of exciting books on my monthly TBR that I want to read. The first one, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So I read all of Emily Henry's books except this one, Book Lovers, and the new one, The Great Big Beautiful Life. These are the only three that I haven't read yet. I started reading this book, according to my Goodreads, I got maybe like 6% into it last time I started reading it, literally like 3 years ago. I didn't even think I knew who Emily Henry was at this point. I had read Beach Read and I love that book so much I just like picked the next book that I saw that was by Emily Henry, and I didn't know she was gonna be like this like huge author. I was like, oh, I liked this one book by this author, let me find another book by her. But then I got it on my TBR again because it's coming out with an adaptation. I wanted to make an adaptations themed video at one point. I don't know what it's gonna be like, if they're tier ranking or like comparing like reading the book and watching the adaptation. I've been saying this for so long, where if I see a movie that's like the same movie over and over and over again, I'm like, why don't they just go to books? Like there are some books that like, okay, you have to adapt them right, first of all. Like there are some books that I'm like, this would be such a good adaptation. Why don't they just pick this up as an adaptation? And I feel like they are starting to do that more. So I want to do something with adaptations later on. But point is, I put this on my TBR this month because it's filming, the adaptation is filming now, and our main character, our Alex, is Tom Blythe. And I think I have been obsessed with that man since I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and since I watched it that same week, like a couple months ago. I've been obsessed with him. I love him. I can picture Tom Blythe in Alex's spot, and maybe that's why I'm liking it so much more. Picked this book up at like 10 p.m. I was like, let me just read a few chapters. I had only read one chapter at the time, and I was limited to read a few chapters before bed. I stayed up until like 1 or 2 a.m. reading this book, and I'm now on page 168 and 69. I just read it straight through. Like I literally sat on my couch and just, I didn't get up to go to the bathroom, I didn't get up to take a drink. I fully just read for like several hours on end. I have that 5-star feeling. If you know what I mean, if you know, you know. You know when a book's gonna be a 5-star. Pretty early on, and I feel like this is definitely gonna be a 5-star. I have just been loving the story. I've been loving Poppy and Alex. I caught myself just straight up smiling when I was reading some chapters, like a crazy person, just smiling at these words on a page, just like, and like nothing insane was happening. It was just, I love this book. It was a struggle for me to actually put this down and go to bed. Like I had taken a nap, so I wasn't that tired even at like 2 a.m., which usually I go to bed at like 9:30 and I'm in bed, like I am tired. But I taken a nap at like 8. So I woke up at like 9:30 or 10 and I was like, let me just read for a little bit. And I'm so excited to pick this up again and read it again. So this is about Alex and Poppy. They've been best friends for 12 years. And it was like a very kind of unlikely friendship, the way that they fell into each other. They met and it was awkward. They're just so different people. And then at the end of the the year, they found out they both live in the same town practically. So they had a mutual friend and they were like, oh, I need someone to carpool home with, and then they carpooled home for like hours on end, and it was like awkward at first, and then they realized that they really get along well together, and they became best friends. And ever since, every summer they've been taking a summer, like a trip together. We're going through a past and present timeline and going through all the summers until 2 years ago when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. So I'm thinking that it was like they tried to ruin the friendship. Ah! Someone's car is ruining my Taylor Swift Life of a Showgirl moment. That car, is it my car? It was not my car. Very opposite attract, where Poppy has a very loud, very eclectic family, very eclectic style. She sort of says whatever she wants. She loves everything, and Alex is sort of a little bit more realistic, where he doesn't love everything. Very specific things that he doesn't like. He's like, I don't like saxophone in songs. So he's a little bit like uptight. Let's go read some more. I think I'm gonna finish this. Like, I literally love this book so much. I'm probably gonna sit down and just finish it. I have these adorable pants on, but they do have a hole in them, and it makes me so sad. They always also have like a little catchphrase for each summer that they say over and over again, like at each trip, just because it's like an inside joke that happens, and it's the cutest thing ever. Also, there is a character in here with my name, Sarah, and it's spelled right with an H, and I've just had so much joy from seeing my name in Emily Henry book. Even though she's not like the best character, I'm like, that's me every time it gets brought up. I'm obsessed with this book, you guys. I have not stopped reading it. Guys, I have to stop recording because I am laughing, smiling, kicking my feet at this book right now. Page 249, so I've read about almost 100 pages since we last spoke. He's taking care of her because she's sick. The next now chapter is gonna be a love declaration. I'm already feeling it, and I'm so excited. We have a Codikins here with us now. Oh my god, this book, man, this book. You know when you have like a 5-star book or like a book that you really, really love, and then you start seeing like parallels between it and your life? Am I the only one that does that? Because I am seeing so many parallels between this book and these characters and my life. And they're little things that are like relatively common, but I'm like, oh my god, this is like, this book is me in a book. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I just read this thing where it's like they're talking about Alex's cat, who's a black cat, and I have 3 black cats, one of which is right here. Look how cute he is. And a full body expression that Alex and I call Halloween Kitty. And that is always what my mom growing up called like the cats when they did like that Halloween cat thing. Like always we called it Halloween Kitty, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a parallel. We're gonna be doing something special tomorrow because I just found out, you know, new release Tuesday. You know how Beach Read has like a special edition now? They're coming out with the people we meet on vacation. Special edition tomorrow. So we're gonna have a bookstore trip in this video too. So excited. We did it! We finished people we meet on vacation. I did migrate to my bedroom because I'm about to feed Ember. She's right next to me. little baby dragon. I'm giving it a 5 stars. I have to. Sometimes a 5-star book, if you don't read it in the right time, can be a DNF. Like, I literally got 6% into this book years ago and it just wasn't the right time, so I put it down, and then I picked it up again several years later and it is a 5-star read for me. I think this book is so amazing. The way that Poppy and Alex are together, it just seems so perfect and so natural with each other. The progression of their relationship seems really natural. I know a lot of times when there's like a friends to lovers type trope, it gets me irritated because I'm like, just tell each other how you feel, you know? But that is not what this book made me feel at all. Everything just made so much sense based on how the characters were portrayed, like how they went about things just made so much sense. I literally think this is gonna be a book that I'm gonna have to read like every year, like again every year, just because I love it so much. I think it's so good, and there are so many tabs that I got from here. I'm gonna feed Ember and then we're gonna go pick our next book. Good morning, welcome to Tuesday. I am already all dressed. We have this yellow tank top and look at the back. It is so cute with a little like lace in the back. I think it's adorable. And we have my pants that I wore for a little bit yesterday because I never went outside with them, so they're still clean in my book. Going to go to the bookstore today. I'm so excited. It is New Release Tuesday. See what new books they have out at Barnes & Noble. I have a few on my list, maybe like 3 or 4 on my list that I really want to get. I think I talked about it yesterday. I really want to get the new People Meet on Vacation special edition because I am obsessed with that book. I love that book so much. Oh yeah, I'm peeling my bearded giant's arugula because he gets arugula for breakfast. One of the ones that I'm looking for today is the 3rd book, Apprentice to the Villain. I think that's what it's called. It's like the 3rd book in the Assistant to the Villain series, and I'm so excited to see if they have it. Yesterday we also started Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Finally, I know I'm on chapter 5, so I haven't gotten that far along. This is one that's been on my 2024 TBR and my 2025 TBR, so I am excited that we're finally gonna start it and get through it. I am a little bit scared because it's like a whole fantasy series, but I just think that everyone just loved the first book and then it went downhill from there, so I always get kind of scared starting a new series that doesn't have like the best reviews for the books coming out. I like the premise so far. It's enemies to lovers, I can already tell. Classic prince versus a robber in the streets type thing. Kind of like reverse Aladdin, and there are trials in it, of course, because in all of these young adult, like in all these like fantasy books, I feel like there are always trials, and I'm anticipating that Peyton, our main character, is going to have to do one of these trials, but she doesn't have powers, which is interesting because she has that like little element to her where she's hiding her powers. So that's where we're at. We're gonna go to the bookstore. I actually have a full-on bookstore vlog I'm gonna be filming today, and it should be up by the time this video is up. So this is the bookstore vlog of our bookstore trip that we're going on right now. If you're curious, we're gonna go to the bookstore, and I also want to go to Trader Joe's because not too far from Barnes & Noble, and I desperately have to go grocery shopping like so bad. So we're gonna start with the bookstore, head to Trader Joe's, and then we'll be back. And I think on our car ride there, we're gonna listen to the audiobook of The Christmas Tree Farm. That is another book that was on my August TBR, and it's part of the Dream Harbor series. And those books I feel like just go down easier for me if they're in audiobook form. I feel like they're kind of cheesy when you're just reading them and it's not as interesting, but in audiobook form it does, I like it better. So I got the audiobook, and we're gonna listen to the audiobook a little bit probably on the way there and get through another book of our monthly TBR. Also, I explained this more in like my 200 pages video, but I am someone who always has to have like 3 different books on 3 different forms of like reading. Like I need to have an audiobook going, I need to have a physical book going, I need to have a Kindle book going. So right now my audiobook is gonna be Christmas Tree Farm, my physical book is Powerless, and my Kindle book, I think I might start The Song of Achilles later on, which is also on our August TBR and on our yearly TBR. Okay, so I think I'm gonna bring my camera in the car with me. I'm not gonna film with it when I'm in the bookstore, absolutely not. I am not that brave. I am gonna bring it with me to do like our little car portion. I'm gonna say goodbye to the cats, and then we're gonna go. Hello, you guys. again. We're done. We went to Barnes and the lady was so nice. She tried to like call and check out to see if they had people with me on vacation, the special edition, but they didn't have it. But she was looking in like 5 different places. She was so nice. So we're gonna go to Target now. It's on the way home and just see if they might have the special edition. If not, I'm gonna have to go back to Barnes tomorrow because I need that special edition. I don't know how to explain how obsessed I am with People We Meet on Vacation since reading it yesterday. But we did end up going to Trader Joe's too. We have my 2 bags here full of groceries, so I can't spend too much time in Target, which will be helpful for me. So I just pull up next to me in the parking spot, and I don't really want to be caught talking to a full-on DSLR camera in the parking lot, so we're gonna go to Target. Oh my god, he has a really cute dog. Look at that adorable dog. Good morning, welcome to Thursday. I've been sitting here on my couch, my favorite place to read, with my ambiance video on, reading Powerless. I did buy it on my Kindle just because I have the book literally right here, but I've been lying down. It's just way more comfy to be holding my Kindle. So we're reading Powerless. I didn't talk to you at all yesterday. So rude of me. I know, I'm so sorry. I didn't really read it all because I got all wrapped up in editing, and then me and my boyfriend watched Dear Evan Hansen. I saw Dear Evan Hansen. I saw the movie a while ago, but I also saw it on Broadway a few years ago, and he had never seen it. So that's what we were doing all day, basically, is I was editing, and then we watched the movie. Almost 100 pages in, I want to say. Figured out the trials that she has to do. Basically, it sounds like the Hunger Games. I don't know if it's just like every dystopian to me now is like the Hunger Games. These trials literally sound like the Hunger Games, like the whole build up to the Hunger Games and everything like that, where they get to train first and meet all the contestants and things like that. So basically, they choose like 10 people to compete in these trials, and everyone is supposed to be an elite, so everyone's supposed to have powers. And Peyton tricked the prince when she saved him into thinking that she has powers. So because she saved the prince, they like agreed to have her in these trials. However, she does not actually have any powers, and she's gonna go up against people that really do have powers. There's like one that can turn invisible, there's one can like rule the element, there's one like cocky one that she met on the carriage ride over, and illusionist, which I don't really know what that is yet. But I'm sort of learning, like figuring out now that all the different like types of powers and everything like that that everyone has. I'm sort of trying to get it and organize it in my head now. So yeah, she's basically has to come to the castle, and she lives there and trains there until these trials happen. I am suspecting there's gonna be a lot of tension between Kai and Peyton. It is a good book. I could definitely see why people got so obsessed with it. It's like the perfect fantasy world that will make you easily obsessed, if you know what I mean. Hello everyone, welcome to my bathroom. We are actually going to be finishing our makeup while I tell you about our updates, because I find that I generally, like, I like just talking to the camera and just like sitting down, but I generally like to like do things while I'm talking to the camera. I don't know. I feel like things just flow easier. We have read a bunch of Powerless. I am on chapter 25, 26 maybe? They just got into the trials. And here is my issue that I have noticed since literally the interview phase of this book, and I looked it up online without any spoilers, and just like, is this just like, am I just like looking for things that aren't there, or like do a lot of people feel this way? And a lot of people feel this way. It is just like the Hunger Games. Like, I had to look up literally like, is Powerless a Hunger Games fanfiction? There are just too many parallels that it just feels so fanfiction like. Like, for example, even the characters' names, okay? Even the characters' names. One is Peyton and one is Kai. And, okay, so they switch genders, but Peyton, PETA, Kai, Katniss, like, this can't have been on accident, you know? And then there's just too many coincidences. And I think, is this the one that started on TikTok, or is that Lightlark? I don't remember which one started on TikTok. But so before, they call them the trials, but they're basically the Hunger Games. Before the trials, they do like interviews, and there's people watching, and they can like vote on their favorite contestants. And then I'm just like, that's just like the Hunger Games plot of like sponsors. And then, you know, they're in this big dome, and they get interviewed one by one, and they get all dressed up. Because Peyton, early on in the book, saved Kai, who's like the prince, they call her the Silver Savior because she has silver hair. And does that not sound like the catchphrase "the girl on fire"? That was Katniss's nickname. Like, I had to take a day or two off from reading it because I was just like, I literally can't read this without seeing the Hunger Games and comparing the two. In the interview, like I said, they show off all their powers and they show them off to the sponsors and all that stuff. And then they just got in the games. And one of the powers is called like a seer or something. And basically you can record video and audio in your mind to rewatch it back or like project it somewhere, which honestly has always been one of my like superpowers that I wish I had, because how cool would that be? You know, like those really amazing breathtaking moments where you're just like, the camera doesn't even do it justice. That's when that power would come in handy. Basically, they are walking around this like abandoned, this like forest area that all the contestants were dropped into, and they're recording them. It's not live, I don't think, so that's like a slight difference from the Hunger Games, but it's still like these basically cameras are recording the contestants as they're in the trials, right? And okay, it's not like you fight to the death like in the Hunger Games, but it basically is. There's even a line in Powerless that says like, oh well, so they basically just want us to kill each other, because the idea is they all have like a brown band on their wrist, like all the contestants have like a brown band on their wrist, and the goal is to get that get everyone's brown band, and like no one's gonna give up their brown band willingly, so you have to kind of knock them unconscious or kill them to be like foolproof, I guess. And it's just so similar to the Hunger Games that I can't get over it. I like it. I do like it. I love Peyton and Kai's banter, their back and forth. That's something that Peeta and Katniss were very much lacking. And I remember, like, of course, The Hunger Games is like a young adult novel, and they had the love triangle, but there just wasn't much of like a romance element to it. It was very more like plot focused, plot driven, whereas Powerless does have the romances, I feel like, at the center of it. Kai is one that says darling, and I don't know if it's the kind of books I've been reading or whatever, but I love when a guy uses the catchphrase darling. I'm just like, yes, call me darling. We're on my floor now. I have this floor pillow here, and I've just been keeping it out. I've been really loving sitting on my floor. I don't know why, but it's been just like where I've been like reading, been just like working on my laptop. I just like sitting on the floor lately. Very similar to the Hunger Games. Oh, here's Coda. And I can't get over that fact. I hope that it sets itself apart in the way, because I feel like it is like a combination of the Hunger Games and the Selection. The Selection is like, well, not in the sense of like, the Selection was like a bachelorette type royal premise, and this is just like, you know, they're in the royal palace for like their interviews and the games and all that stuff. But it does sort of have some elements of that, because like I said, the banter is great. I do love the banter in this book. I definitely like this book better than the other book we're reading. The other book we're reading on audiobook is actually right here. It's The Christmas Tree Farm. I have been listening to it on audiobook because, I'm sorry, but with Lori Gilmore's book, you're there for the vibes. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, you were there for the pumpkin spice, the fall vibes. Cinnamon Bun Cafe, same thing, like the summer vibes. Christmas Tree Farm, you're here for the winter vibes. Characters are very basic. The premise is very predictable. Even like, it's the love at first sight type thing. And that is something that I realize I have an issue with. Like, and reading Powerless has shown me that like this book does that well in a way. You know, of course they mention that the other's attractive, but they don't keep mentioning it. Like, and we're almost halfway through the book. He didn't like realize that he liked her until like chapter 20 or whatever. There are some good lines in here, But there are some cheesy lines in this book. Like, there are some good lines in Powerless, there are some cheesy lines in this book. It's just like so predictable in the sense of just like, she mentioned something, like she sucked on, like she like started eating a candy cane, and I was like, oh, he's gonna mention and like that he's gonna latch onto her, that he's gonna like look at her lips sucking on the candy cane, she's gonna be like, oh my god. And that's what happens. That is literally exactly what happens. It's just like, it's so predictable. We have Kira and Bennett, and Bennett is the brother of the character from the first book, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and he is just like visiting Dream Harbor. And then Kira had just moved here and she bought the Christmas tree farm. So her backstory is like she grew up rich, she has a twin sister, and everyone always sort of like did things for her. She never did something herself. So her twin sister moved and got married, and she's like all mad at her twin sister. I don't know, that's just like, okay, but if you're like almost 30, like, are you really that attached to your twin sister still? I don't have a twin sister. Maybe that's how it is, but it's like she's like mad and she's like so grumpy about it, and she's basically like, they're trying to do like the Grinch type character thing. She buys a Christmas tree farm because she thinks that she can, I don't know, have something for herself or whatever. She's just so mean and grumpy to Bennett, who is literally just there to help her. And I am the biggest advocate for, hey, if I'm at the gym and I don't ask for your help, man, don't come up and give me advice. You know? I'm just like, if I didn't ask for your help, don't give me advice in the gym. But like, this guy is, and I think that's what they were trying to go for. Like, that's the indignation that Kira felt of him offering to help like fix her house. But her house is broken. Like, it needs to be fixed. Her heat is broken and it's wintertime and she's freezing. Like, your heat needs to be fixed, and this guy is just being nice, offering to like, not even like totally fix, just like look into it, be like, hey, I'll ask my dad. And she's like, oh, this guy. And it's like, that's actually a pretty nice thing to do, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like a lot of scenes like that where it's just like, okay, now you're just writing her because you're trying to hold on to the black cat golden retriever type storyline, and it's not doing it for you. This is okay. I don't think it's 5-star. I'm not getting that 5-star feeling yet. We are gonna keep reading some of it and see if it turns around. I just hope they lay off the Hunger Games similarities. She's an archer. Peyton is an archer. Come on. Ugh, I don't want to hate on this book. I don't. Okay, it's okay if it's like the Hunger Games, Sarah. It's okay. I just wish that, I don't know, I knew that going in, you know? The powers of the people are really cool. I will say, the powers of like that in this world are pretty cool. Kai's power is that he can sort of like use and take anyone else's power that's within a certain distance, and that seems like the best power, honestly, although you can only do it if they're within a certain distance, so I don't know. And then Peyton doesn't have power because she's ordinary, but she pretends to everyone that she's a psychic. Hello, it's me again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I did finish, obviously, Powerless, and I also finished Christmas Tree Farm, so I'm going to insert my Powerless wrap-up that I posted on TikTok, and then I'm also just going to tell you about the Christmas Tree Farm right now. I think I ended up giving that book like a 3-ish stars, 2.75, 3-ish stars. Honestly, I didn't love it. I didn't love Kira. Bennett was okay. It just wasn't. The Laura Gilmore books, I think I'm gonna take a step back from. I have one more book that I bought of hers, and I'm gonna read that one, and then I'm gonna take a step back from it just because I feel like she's not the writer for me. Now, I've tried 3 books by hers. They were okay, but I didn't love them. So I'm gonna take a step back, and yeah. But overall, obviously, my most favorite book that I read was People Meet on Vacation. Powerless, this wrap-up that I'm about to show you is a little bit brutal. And don't hate me in the comments. I know it's a fan favorite, but I will be continuing the series, and I will say it has grown on me after continuing the series. So stay tuned for my updated thoughts on the Powerless series. Hot take. People might hate me for this. I don't get it. Peep Simba. I don't get it. I just finished this book. I don't get the hype. I gave it a 3 stars, which is not a terrible rating. Again, it's a fantasy, it's romance. Love that. Don't hate me. Literally Hunger Games. Hunger Games and Harry Potter combined. I never read the book Red Queen, but apparently this is also a copy of it. I mean, I respect Lauren Roberts because I respect anyone who puts out a full-on book, but it's just gave way too much. Hunger Games with all the trials and how she would have to be like scrappy like Katniss because she was the only one that wasn't ordinary in it, and then having to be like basically on display for everyone. Literally, that was the whole issue with Hunger Games. The maze at the end was so goblet of fire. Sorry, that's my review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time very, very soon. Bye!